Hey house guests, welcome to tonight's BB10 recap.
Last time on Big Brother, Renny nominated Jerry and April.
It didn't really make much sense because that wasn't her best move. And Dan's thinking, does Renny have a secret deal with
I
Ollie?
don't blame him. I would think that she did because
It's
only an
suspicious.
idiot would not put up April and Ollie. So Ollie and April are all strategizing in the little beanbag room.
Ollie's like, oh, in POV, and yeah, make sure, don't look sad. But then she's like, well, I have to look vulnerable to these people for a few minutes.
Let me play my game, will you? Please. I'm playing my game, Ollie. Okay, so poor Jerry. Jerry has no one to strategize with but himself.
Yeah.
And he quite often talks to himself in bed alone.
About
out
nothing.
loud.
Or about what he should talk to himself about.
Yeah, I think maybe he just farts too much and nobody wants to be around him.
He's a room clearer.
He can't help it. He's old. Alright, so...
Time to pick players for the POV comp.
Okay, Renny picks Dan.
Jerry picks Keesha.
And April picks Ollie.
And the host is Michelle. Note to future HOHs.
Don't ever pick Michelle to host again.
Okay, guys, time to play Power of Veto competition.
Well,
let's see what the answer was.
It was bad, but we'll get there. First, Memphis, Dan, and Keesha are all lamenting over Renny's stupidity. They're beginning to not trust Renny as much as they should because she didn't nominate Ollie.
Keisha's like, Renny went off the deep end this week. Oh my god!
Yeah, I used to be able to trust Renny, but now I'm not so sure. Okay, so it's time to play the POV. Yay!
It's called Graveyard Backyard.
Okay, and I don't know if it's called that, but that's what I observed.
Well, that's what you called it, so I like that.
So they have 5 minutes to check everything out in the backyard.
There's a giant python. There are voodoo dolls with pins in them. What else? This box
blood
that you had to stick your hand in to feel what was in there.
It was Madagascar hissing cockroaches.
But they didn't know that.
No. And, yeah, some blood.
Yeah.
And some nails in a board. So... The object of the POV game is to win 3 points. And you do that by winning 3 rounds.
Yeah, so Michelle will slowly ask the questions.
In monotone voice.
First she showed, like, okay, this is however many whatevers look like.
Right.
How many whatevers are in this.
Right.
So then you
guesstimate.
Mm-hmm.
You could stay or fold after you see everybody's
answers.
Right.
Then you have the choice, either stay or fold. And
if you fold, you're safe.
Yeah, but you don't get the point.
Right. But if you stay, the one furthest away is gone.
And the closest gets the point.
That's right. So the first item up for bids was a snake. And they had to guess how long it was in inches. Well, Renny was out on that one. She's not a very good judge of snakes.
She's way over.
Yeah. Then the voodoo dolls with the pins in them. Well, April was out on that one, but we do need to say that Jerry won the first 2 points.
Yep.
So it was Jerry 2, everyone else, Then the hissing cockroaches.
Keesha was out because she didn't even put her hand in the box.
Now, Jerry folded on that one, but if he had stayed, he would have won. So good deal, Jerry.
Dan got the point.
So next up was the blood. Here's 2 ounces. How much is this? So
Dan got that one too.
That's
so
right.
It's tied at 2 for Jerry and Dan.
So Ollie finally woke up and said, "Whoa, wait a minute, dude. I am almost out, and my girl don't have the POV yet." So Dan won the last point because they had no choice but to stay in.
Mm-hmm.
So
Dan won.
And April was crying.
Whee!
And so was Ollie. He was like, "I let my baby down." But April's like, "Hey, Ollie, it ain't no thing. I got five of these gold Big Brother balls worth $5,000.
And they're all cocky and confident, like, oh, it's like taking candy from a baby.
I'm gonna wave a little money under Dan's nose, and he's gonna use that POV on me. Well,
Jerry decides to, I don't even know, to Dan. Alright, Ollie, so where are we at right now?
I think this is the storage room.
I mean, like, 'cause I have the veto and you're on the block.
Oh, Dan, I've been meaning to tell you, something bad happened last week. I'm like a street fighter, and I guess I overreacted a little bit, and I've been meaning to tell you how sorry I am.
Yeah, Jerry, yeah.
And if you need somebody to kiss your ass or be a little bitch, I could definitely do that for you, Dan. It's got nothing to do with the veto at all. Nothing.
Yeah, Jerry,
nothing.
we'll see what we can do. I'm open to anything right now.
Alright, thanks, Dan.
Ew.
Oh, Dan, don't do it.
So now it's time for Dan to get a new haircut from Renny.
Renny is a master hair stylist.
That's true.
She's been doing it forever. Dan, just shut your mouth.
He's
and
like,
let Renny work
what
the
are we doing
magic.
here? What's the plan of action? God, please let Renny do a good job. Let's hands up.
If you don't shut up, I'm gonna scalp the hell out of you. Alright, so
That was funny.
the table shrank.
Shrunk.
It shrank too. Alright, so
Shrunk. You know, it just didn't shrink.
I said it shrank.
I know.
Alright, so Dan and April have a meeting of the minds. Well, one mind anyway. And Dan listens to what April has to say.
April's like, oh, you'll have safety from me and Ollie. Jerry can't offer you that. And
Big deal, like Ollie would ever win a competition.
got some money.
Got some scratch. Alright, so I'll let you know. Okay, so Dan, he really likes taking a dump up in that HOH room.
But this time he was up there to talk to Renny.
Right.
He's like, what would you do if I took Jerry down?
What do you mean take Jerry down? When? And she was basically like, you're not using the veto, and if you do, I'd think you were a traitor, Dan. So Dan's like, okay.
Oh.
Alright, so it's time for the pleadings.
Yeah. Jerry's like, once again, I'm Street Fighter.
What does that mean?
He thinks he's scrappy, apparently.
If somebody told me they were a street fighter, I'd think, I better get them the hell out of here. Because I don't know what the hell they're going to do. I don't know what the hell they're going to do the next time if they call me Judas for just doing something like, you know, voting against somebody else.
But anyway, he was like, and I apologize for calling you Judas, blah, blah, blah. I'm kissing your ass right now.
Yeah, but then April's like, I respect Renny, and I respect that Renny wanted me up here, and you shouldn't use the POV unless you really want to.
Trying some of that reverse psychology there.
I know. And she was like, fake smile.
Dan was like, not using the power veto.
No.
And April was like,
that's great. Okay, so it's time for plan B. B for bitch.
mm-hmm.
You used the sugar, didn't work. So now it's time to shake things up. Or go home.
Hopefully go home.
Yeah. So I guess we'll have to hang by our fingernails till Thursday. And hopefully April will go home and little Jerry the bitch will get his reprieve for the week. So kids, till Thursday, much love.